Hello and welcome to From the Be-All End, the rapid reaction to Burnley 2, Sunderland 0. 3 big points for the Clarets in their first home game of this Premier League campaign. Woody and Chris Bowden are with me to go through it very quickly. Woody, I suppose, loads of positives that we'll get into, but I suppose we do have to remember who we're playing here.
They were shocking, weren't they? I thought they were very disappointing, especially after last week and all the brouhaha coming out about how they were going to finish seventh, how much money they've spent. I found them very pedestrian, very lacking. They obviously came for a point at best, had a couple of chances, but after we scored, there was literally nothing, was there? Xhaka just shrunk out of the game as it progressed. Either his legs had gone or, and I thought they were terrible, and I think they're going to have quite a long, arduous season if that's how they expect to set up and try and get something from arguably better sides than us on their away travels. I was very disappointed in them.
Yeah, I thought once we got ahead of them, first off, they knocked it about nicely enough without causing the threat, as did we, really, didn't we, Chris? But, then they sort of gave up. But for Burnley, tons of positives there, especially in that second half.
Well, yeah, I'm still a bit bemused about Lyle Foster's goal being ruled out as well. So considering we've scored twice, we've hit the outside of the post and had a perfectly good goal ruled out, and it wasn't that sort of rampant victory. It was quite nervy at times, but we did play some good football. That's the sort of the master plan, really. Defend like our lives depend on it. Try and show that quality to get the goal. And once we get the goal, we've got to manage it and try and nick another on the break. I mean, that is exactly how we need to manage games of football at this level. We never looked threatened, did we?
No. There was that one little chance in the first half where Dubravka, I thought, was a bit slow off his line, but the guys put it wide anyway. And then after that, did Dubravka have a save to make, would he?
No, absolutely nothing. Apart from that thing very early on, that header that was missed, and then that miss that you just mentioned, there was nothing he was called upon to do, was there? They just threw endless balls and missed the final man, missed the first man, missed everybody, invariably. No, like Chris said, I thought we grew into the game and we handled it really rather well, and there was some very solid performances as well. I thought Ekdal had a very good game.
Didn't put a foot wrong, did he?
No, exactly. Cullen was exemplary. Leslie for his 60 minutes before his legs cramped up. And I thought Foster did well up top. We were a bit patchy. It wasn't a stellar performance by any stretch, but I think that second goal, both goals were very, very good. Very, very good. Very composed from Cullen. And that breakaway for the second was, goal of the month contender if it wasn't for Richarlison last week.
Yeah. I mean, Cullen, for me, man of the match, not only for that cool finish, which was reminded me of Josh Brownhill in a lot of ways, but lovely setup from Jaidon Anthony. And then, of course, he set up the second goal with that brilliant ball that we've seen from him before over the top to Anthony. I mean, Chris, we were saying last year that maybe Anthony will do better in the Premier League where he gets a bit more space to run onto the ball, and that second goal was exactly that, wasn't it?
Said that the lad's 25. He's not really had a sustained look at the Premier League. Parker likes him. I think we could see that his work rate's ridiculous. He's got this fabulous first touch. He started adding goals and assists to his game over the second half of last season. I think he started the season superbly well. He could have had a goal and assist last week. He's that sort of extra cover. Him and Hartman are linking very well. Him and Foster are dovetailing really well at the attacking third of the field. But he's taking it. I mean, situations last year when we were seeing that, where Anthony goes through and he's a bit uncertain and he snatches at things, and it's magnificent. He showed the composure to round the goalkeeper and drill that with his weaker left foot. It's a fabulous goal. I really like the kid. I've never met him, but I just want him to do well. He's always got a smile on his face. And I think he's, hopefully he's going to convince more and more Burnley fans of his work. I think he's terrific.
Yeah, I was impressed with him. On the other flank, to bring some balance and objectivity to this, I mean, JBL didn't really adapt, I think, very well to that position he was asked to play, which was a bit of a hybrid sort of role, wasn't it, Woody?
Very kind way of putting it, Simon. I mean, yes. I mean, if you're going from the point of view that he was asked to play like a little bit of do a lot of defensive work, then maybe that is the reason as to why it was such an abject performance down that right hand side. And we didn't see him until the 35th minute or something, did we? And invariably he gave it away. Then he looked very much off the pace and was trying to find the game for the vast majority of it. And I don't think it worked with him out wide at all.
No. Surprised that we didn't see Marcus Edwards at all, Chris.
Well, he seems to be way down the pecking order, doesn't he? Even when the changes are being made. I mean, he's not got on the pitch today. Chalmers, he's made an impact when he came on today, but he's got on the pitch before him at Spurs last week and again today. Anthony's obviously he's starting there. He's playing sort of Hannibal played sort of wideish right for a period before he made the late changes. But yeah, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. I look at Bruno Larson. I thought he did well helping Walker out, but again, he's probably had a couple of opportunities to affect the game with his quality, and he's well, he fed an awful ball over with his wrong foot in the first half, and then he snatched at a chance in the second, and yeah, I don't know how long that experiment will continue, to be honest.
The player who stood out to me in a lot of ways, as I said, Josh Cullen, obviously for me, man of the match. Ekdal, I thought didn't put a foot wrong, was excellent. But I was impressed by Big Les, Woody, in that centre midfield. Not that he did anything amazing, but he just seemed to give us a solidity and a presence.
There felt to be some bite there, didn't there? Like you say, there was a presence, and it obviously freed up Cullen a little bit, and he was there. He was throwing himself about without being a Hannibal about it.
Yeah,
and he had a nice little touch, and he laid it off, and he played it simple when he had to do, and he can carry the ball a little bit. I thought that little about 40th minute in the first half where he kind of got the ball, did a little bit of a pirouette away from Jacques and drew a foul. I thought that was a lovely bit of skill. It was just a shame that he cramped up. I'd like to have seen him, for another 10 or 15 minutes or so. But hopefully it's nothing too serious, because I'd like to see how he progresses through the season, because he looks like that midfield presence that we've been missing or been crying out for.
Yeah, and I thought Josh Laurent actually did well when he came on for him, actually. He covers the ground, doesn't he? He puts the work in. We know what Josh Laurent is. He knows his limitations as a player, which I like about him, because you don't want someone like Josh Laurent getting himself into trouble all the time. He knows what he can do, and he does it pretty well. Other individual performances, I mean, Foster is, for me, still this enigma, because he performed. I think he did some really, really good stuff, and then he'd have an absolutely dreadful first touch, or he'd get the ball, go past somebody, and then give the ball away. I mean, but there was something there. It's hard to be against the lad, isn't it, Chris?
Absolutely, he's showing what he showed 2 years ago at the start of the Premier League season, where he's got that pace and power that you want. He gets himself into good positions. He does, his hold-up plays improved beyond belief, but like I say, sometimes you just, you want him to carry on driving, and he'll give a sloppy pass away, or you want him to sort of lay it off, and his touch isn't quite there. But people look at the goal again. It's taking a deflection, but it's a super finish.
Yeah,
he's onto that. He's showing his upper body strength. For me, he's just too, he's too strong for the lad. He's out muscled him, and he's finished in a flash there. And again, like 2 years ago when he got the goal so truly taken off him at Forest, he should be up and running again.
Yeah, and that VAR decision, I mean, they said trip. I must admit, when I was looking at the first few replays, I was looking at arms to see, did he push him or pull him? I didn't look for trip. And then at half-time on the replays, I looked, and the legs get tangled, but they're both sort of challenging for the ball. I thought it was a fair goal. What did you make of it, Woody? Or am I viewing that with claret and blue tinted glasses a bit?
I'm like you. I was surprised when I found out 30 minutes later that it was for a trip, and I'd love to see if it was the other way, whether we'd have got a penalty for it. It was one of those kind of challenges that was nothing, but you can see how it's gotten given, because it looks like a foul, doesn't it? But I don't know. it felt a little bit harsh for it to be kind of choked off, to be
I
fair.
know what you mean. When it happened, I sort of thought, oh, they're going to call that off, And then when I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, but they shouldn't. He's just gone down too easily, the defender, I think. But
they've got one. I was watching the West Ham game last night, as you do. They must have had nothing else better to it. And Paqueta has gone down really early for, I think it's Chelsea's 3rd or 15th goal. I can't remember, but it was, and it's holding his face. And there was contact from Chalobah, but it wasn't enough when you watch it back, and it gets deemed accidental contact. Well, if you trip someone without deliberately tripping someone, that's accidental.
Not foul. That's not a foul.
It's accidental contact, surely.
Yeah.
So I think he's been mugged off big style, Foster, but I would honestly.
It's a pity for him. It'd have been great for his confidence to have that goal under his belt. But confidence-wise, I mean, that's a big 3 points against a team that's come up. Admittedly, a team that finished, 24 points behind us. But, it's still, they've spent 150 million. And they had a bit of a swagger about them, and we've sent them packing. And we've got now, a tough run of fixtures, haven't we? And I'm sure the lads will be going into that on the debrief, as well as the game day fan experience, which we're not going to touch upon here because we're watching it on television. We'll leave it to people who were at Turf Moor. But Woody, you look at that fixture list now, and you're glad we've got 3 points in the bag.
Aren't you just? Because it might be the only 3 for a couple of months. But saying that, we applied ourselves reasonably well last week. And if you're always going to get chances to break against no matter what level aside in the Premier League, as we've seen. It's about taking them, isn't it? Now, we've only had really 3 clear-cut chances today, if you're going to include the Anthony's header at the end of the first half. But we've basically taken 2 of them, and I don't care who you're playing against. If you're scoring the kind of goals that we have done today, you're in with a chance. So it doesn't matter whether it's Liverpool, Man United, whether away, they're at home, whatever. You've got to find that clinical touch, and if we can find it and gain some confidence from today, then I think we may get 1 or 2 more surprise results out of these.
Yeah, United I'm feeling that confidence.
Well.
Yeah. I mean, we're also on top of those chances, the Chouamani's fantastic shot that clipped the outside of the post, didn't it? Chris, are you feeling that there's a foundation there to at least, get something, grind something out against United, perhaps, and not get rolled over by the big teams?
For all the narrative, everyone talks about the Premier League narrative, and Sunderland have beaten a side that they look a mess. And, fair play, they beat them well. But the sort of narrative was that we got walloped at Spurs, and we didn't.
No.
We were well in that game for a good hour or so, and it's taken an absolute wonder goal to sort of knock me the steam out of us, really. But I think the way we're set up, there was a real that sort of typical Burnley desire not to concede that we've seen for a number of years now. I mean, especially last year when we were setting ridiculous amounts of defensive records. You're not going to. I'm going to get a block in. I'm going to get a tackle in. You're not going to outpace me. I'm going to show you into traffic. There's just this pride in not conceding, which I saw, and it's going to be required because you're going to come up against like last week at Spurs. We're among the best of the best here. So, but everyone looks at are we playing the name Manchester United or are we playing the team Manchester United? They lost 18 games last season.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're the worst Man United team in my life, because the worst Man United team in my life 40 years ago still had Brian Robson in it and Mark Hughes in it. This lot, what have they got? There's no heart, no desire, no nothing there. And they've still got quality. Like Fernandes can pop up. But, City are City. We're seeing today they've been rolled over, and Trafford's made an interesting start to life at Manchester City. So we're ahead of the curve. We've got 3 points from 2 games, and if we get a point a game, 38 points will keep us up. So we'll see how we go.
There we go. Woody, just sum up your feeling after watching the first Burnley home game of the season. How do you go away from that game? What kind of sensations?
I'm flickering and fizzing like those floodlights.
Excellent, excellent. Well, the floodlights is one of the topics the lads will get into on the debrief, which will be out for you on late Sunday night, early Monday morning, no doubt. Thanks very much indeed for joining us for this rapid reaction, and up the Clarets.